Hello everyone and welcome to Matlab beginner tutorial. If you are new to Matlab, your two main questions may be, what is Matlab and what can it be used for? Matlab is being used by millions of engineers and scientists for data analysis, simulations, algorithm development, application development, including graphical user interface building. In this video, I'm going to show you the basic things that I've got to know to help you get started with this great software. I'm going to take you through the main menus, the toolbars, all the command windows that they have, and other important things you've got to know about. And at the end of this video, I'm going to help you plot your first graph use in Matlab. So stay tuned and enjoy what comes ahead. Okay, so this is our Matlab interface. After double clicking on the Matlab icon, this is the first interface that it greets you with. So as you can see here, this is the active window, which is the command window we have right here. It's an interactive window that gives you an instant output when you input in your data. You are going to see the result or the outcome of it. You could also use it to perform your basic math calculation. So it could be used for math calculation, but aside that, it could be used for complex tasks. This interface could be used for that. And so there are four active windows, as you can see here. There is the command window. We have the workspace. The workspace shows you the variables that you have saved, and you could go through them to see the content of your variable. So let's create an example. We say a is equal to 45. So when I press a is equal to 45, enter, we're going to have the display right in our command window there. And when you come to your commands, your workspace, this is the outcome of your workspace. So with your workspace, you have the variable a, and you have the value of the variable that I created. So we declared a variable a having a variable of 45. So that's what we have in the screen as we have right here. We could also double click on the variable to get to our variable explorer, where we could see the content of the variable. In Matlab, it saves variables in a form of an array. So you could save in more data into an array. So it's a multi-dimensional sort of array. So I'm going to double click on it and we're going to have the variable explorer. So in the variable explorer, we get to see our 45. Aside that, I could modify it by adding some other values to it to form a matrix. So I'm going to save it this way, and I'm going to exit this screen. So when I exit it, it goes right there, and we're going to have our command window. So with this, we could perform basic calculations with it. So we have 4 times, and in Matlab, times is used for star. The multiplication sign is represented by star. So we have 4 times 5, and we have the answer there, 20. ANS refers to an answer, and it is the default container that holds your answer when you don't declare a variable to hold your answer. For instance, if I have a calculation to do like this, we have I'm going to assign it a variable. I'm going to declare a variable to save the answer of my work that I'm going to do here. So let's say, for instance, we have A is 34, and we have B to be equal to 76. Okay, so these are the data that we have in there. So I'm going to multiply them, but I want to save my answer in a variable called C. So I'm going to declare a variable. Declaring means that creating of a variable. So C is equal to, that is A times B. So when I click answer, we're going to get C is equal to 2278. That's the multiplication of, that's A is 34 times 67, and we have the answer there. So I could type C here to see the content of C. So we have C given as the solution to the multiplication we did up there. So as you can see, the Simulink is a graphical programming environment which you could use for modeling, simulating, or you could also use for analyzing multi-domain dynamic systems. And here are examples that you could also start with, you could learn from. You could just click on them to know what they entail. There is aerospace block set. There's a lot of examples here that you could learn from with the Simulink. So I'm going to take it off we still go to our home button, and I'm going to take you to one very nice thing about Matlab. It has support for a lot of things. So let's go to the add-ons. So I'll click on the add-ons. I'll first take you to get hardware support. These are the add-ons that we have in here. We have an add-ons for the Matlab support package for Arduino hardware. We have the legacy Matlab Simulink support for Arduino. We have the Simulink support for package for Arduino hardware. We have the Matlab support package for USB webcams. We have Matlab support package for Raspberry Pi hardware. We have for the text, the national instrument like the lab view. You could use this to obtain data from the lab view, and you kind of analyze it using the Matlab. There are a lot of hardware support packages here, both for you using your hardware in Simulink or using your hardware linked up to your Matlab interface, your command window, to obtain real life data. You could also connect it to your Parrot mini drones to obtain data or probably program it. There are a lot of things you can use it for. So as you can see here, there is image acquisition toolbox, support for package for point gray hardware. There are a lot of things that you could do with it. So you could connect a lot of hardware microcontrollers to your hardware, your Matlab, to obtain data from it. There is also one here, data acquisition toolbox support for package for Windows sound cards. So that's for Windows sound cards if you want to work on your audio, your video, the sort of things. There is a motor shield. There is for computer vision. There are a lot of things that you could do with this add-ons library. This add-on libraries, you have to download it and just add it to. So I already have my Matlab support package for Arduino hardware already installed, so you can see it right here. And when you look at the legacy Matlab Simulink support for Arduino, I have not installed it, so there is no green sort of indication that I've installed it. So I have just these two installed at the moment. So that's for the Simulink and the Matlab support package. I just have this now. So you could explore, go through it to see there are examples that will show you how to use this. This window is the current directory, or it's referred to as the current folder. You could navigate into a particular folder that you like to save all your Matlab programs in, or you could use this interface to locate where you've written any program that you want to open on Matlab. You could use this place to navigate it. So it's sort of like a Windows Explorer to the Windows Microsoft users. You see this to be as a Windows Explorer where you could navigate to get your files or save in a file. So at the moment, I'm going to change my directory. So all I've got to do is to click on the button right here. Then we see a small dialog screen open, a Windows Explorer open for us to navigate where we would like to save our files. Now let us create a Matlab program. We're going to edit it and we're going to save it into our directory. So I'm at the moment so this is the path for our directory. I'm currently on my C drive, my computer documents, Matlab beginner. So that is the current folder I'm in now, and that is the display of it. When you come to this window down here, which is right below the current folder, it shows you detail of your Matlab program. So if you have a Matlab program, for instance, you have a Simulink program, if you click on it, it's going to show you a little diagram of it to just show you, it's going to give you information about the program that you clicked on. It's going to give you the date it was modified, who created it, and the Matlab version that program was written in. It's going to give you a lot of details that you can follow. So as we go on, you're going to see the importance of that. So, and there is another thing too that I would introduce you to. That is a window that does not start immediately when you start your Matlab for the first time. You've got to start it on your own. So first you have to go to the home button. So when I click on the home button, you see new script. We have new live script. So you either use new script or you either use new live script. So for the new script, when I click on it, we are going to have an editor. This editor is an environment where you can write your code and you can save it. For the command window, you can't save your work there. It instantly runs anything you put in there. So for the editor, we can do a whole lot of things, write our code, and at the end of the program we can run it to see the outcome of it. So this is it at home. So new script. So this is our new script. So I'm going to type in something here and you're going to see how it works. So we have a equals 23, and I'm going to, okay, a squared to 23, b equals 54, and c is equal to 89. So these are the values I have there. So I'm going to perform some calculations by declaring the variable. So we have n equals a plus b minus c. So this is what we have here. In order to run this, I would have to save it, but then the editor too gives me the privilege to save it immediately. I click on run. It's have to save it first, and we're going to see it on our current folder. So I'm going to go to editor. So when I go to editor, there is the run button there. I'm going to click on it. It's going to prompt me by bringing up this save as screen. Okay, so I'm going to name it as, okay, so Matlab trial.m. Okay, so that is it right there in our current directory. So Matlab trial.m, and the extension for Matlab files is .m. As we have C++ to be CPP and Python to be py, for Matlab is .m. So for you to run a program in Matlab, it's have to be in a .m file. Some of the files could be in other extension, but the main basic file extension for Matlab is .m. So that's what we have right there. And you see, so after I saved it, it ran. So you can see the results right in our command window. So in our command window, we have this information here. Okay, so now our screen is sort of having a lot of things there. So I'm going to clean the screen so that we can start it all afresh. There are some few commands I'm going to be showing you so that you could be applying. It's just like the Matlab command window is just like a blackboard. You're going to write a lot of things, and you also need to clean the screen, get the screen cleaned up for different programs that you'll be running. So first, the clear button, the clear command is used to clear all your memory. So these are the variables we've declared over time as we are doing this recording. So we have the A, we have the ANDs, we have B, C, J, and N. We're going to use this command to clear our memory. So I'm going to just type enter here, and you're going to see that our memory is now cleared in the workspace. And for the CLC is just like you have your blackboard and you have your cleaner or your duster that you're going to use to wipe the screen. So when I type in the CLC command, it's going to clear the screen. So I could go back and run this code that we have up here. So I go to editor, then I click on run. So this is the outcome of our code that we wrote in there. So with this, I could close it. I could close it from here and still have access to it here. So I'm going to clear the screen. So you have clear. Okay. And I'm going to, I've taken everything off the screen. I've cleaned my white blackboard, and it's quite cool now. So I'm going to double click on the Matlab folder, and you see what we wrote earlier has come in again. So it's a very simple interface that takes mathematical computation, especially in matrix form, and also keeps data in the form of array. Okay, so in this video, I'm just going to plot a simple graph as a beginner so that you could also try something on your own to see how you could also use the graph. Okay, so we're going to plot something very simple here. So our first to write a code, you have to go to script, new script. So in our new script, you're going to type in our code just to plot our graph. So first, what we want to do is to clear the memory, and second, to clear the command window. And next, we will create an array for t. So you have t, we have t is equal to minus 6 is to 0.001 is to 6. This is 6, then square bracket close. Then we would like to suppress this. We wouldn't like to see the outcome of this. Then we go for x. So we're going to plot x, y, z against t. So sine t. So x is equal to sine t. So we're going to find sine t. And we like to minimize that too. And we have our y, which is also equal to sine into bracket t minus 2 star pi divided by 3 semicolon. We would like to suppress that, and our final one is z is sine t plus 2 star pi divided by 3, then bracket close. We would like to minimize that too. And finally, we would like to plot our graph, which is we like to have t against x, also t against y, t against z. So we like to plot this graph on our screen, and we'll turn on the grid mode. So we're done with that. And finally, we would like to label our graph. So we give it a title, and the title is going to be power supply from ECG, power supply from ECG, yeah. And we have our x label to be will be time, and our y label will be volts. So it's going to be time against volt. Okay, so we're done here. So time against volt. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on F5 to run it, or we're going to just click on editor. We're going to run it from here. They'll ask us to save it, so we're going to save it for as power supply. Okay, that's power supply. So we're going to save it as power supply. So now this is our graph that we have here. Okay, so at the moment this is okay, so this is our power supply that we have here. So we have power supply from ECG, we have volts, the Y label was volt and the X label was time. So we have each of the red, we have yellow and green, all representing the X, Y, Z against the time. So you can see that in the time we made it -6 to 6. So that's the labeling we have right there. And we have all this one representing X, Y, and Z. We could also pin on it to get the values at each intersection if you really want to do that, or get those values in analyzing our data. So this is just a simple graph that we've plotted for the first time. Okay, so stay tuned and enjoy, and we'll be coming up with more videos where we'll be interfacing the Matlab with the Arduino board so we could